Let's talk about you being Jewish real quick.
Let's do that.
Because a lot of people think that, like, Asher's Jewish.
Right.
He's not. His dad's Jewish. He doesn't really identify. All loves to Jews, but he's not Jewish.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand...
But he wasn't there. He didn't read his portion, first of all.
You didn't have a bar mitzvah.
Come on. Are you serious?
You had a... Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Just tell it. You don't understand how big you're about to be in the Jew world. Right?
You don't understand how big it is.
Yo,
First of all, I live in an all-Jewish area, so...
Where is that?
Forest Hill.
Okay.
I went to a predominantly Jewish school growing up. I definitely had a bar mitzvah in an Italian restaurant, mind you.
My lord.
Yeah.
A nice Italian restaurant?
A very nice Italian restaurant. The song of the night was Backstreet Boys' I Want It That Way.
You are younger than me.
Yeah.
I forget about that.
Yeah. And yeah, man, I was in there. I was in synagogue. I had my yarmulke on.
Hebrew school, the whole nine? You did? No Hebrew school?
I cheated. I didn't really.
So you just did that? No. Your parents are nice.
Yeah.
So they let you do the bar mitzvah without having to do the fucking Hebrew school.
Mm-hmm.
So your mom's Jewish.
My mother's Jewish. And you know we have great Jewish dinners like Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur.
First text message you ever sent me. Good Shabbos.
Yep, good Shabbos.
He kept it real.
Yep.
Have you gotten approached yet by like the Jewish media yet?
No, I haven't got approached by the Jewish media, but somebody today, who I won't mention, was like, you know how big you're gonna be? And I was like...
Wait, was that me 5 minutes ago? I remember saying that.
Somebody's like, you know how big you're gonna be? And he's like, this has never happened before. It's like every Jew is going to just like really embrace.
Well, here's the thing. There are Jews like my dad who like cling to like the biggest reaches.
Yeah.
Like, you know who's Jewish? Matt Damon. I'm like, no, he's not, Dad. He's definitely not Jewish. And like people reach, and the fact that you actually identify, that's gonna be like, that's gonna be big.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
You're doing something that I...
Alright, I have to put this in before we start the video.
Yeah, Drake? Drake? The nigga that got bodied by Pusha T? The nigga that hiding his kid from the world, but his world wouldn't hide from the kid?
Drake is a character, played by Aubrey Graham. The lost art of alter egos is really a play on personas, and Drake's character is the biggest one yet. We all know Drake coming from Toronto to Degrassi to Young Money to now becoming the biggest rapper in the world. It sounds like a long journey, but a fruitful one that he couldn't have ever done if he was still Aubrey. I actually think it's pretty cool when people are able to channel different variations of themselves.
From Toronto to Tennessee, a town to stay down. OKKK. New Drake album coming soon. You see that? You like that?
That was my grandmother shamelessly promoting the new Drake album, and that's my middle name and also my performance name, so thank you, Bubby.
And we're gonna disregard his background for just a little and focus on Drake taking a few of these characters and reinventing himself. In the beginning, Drake's persona was actually pretty nice, good at playing the nice guy character, whose music was really appealing towards women. He got flack for doing the rap singing, but the style was the beginning of Drake reaching new heights. But most importantly, it got him in the circles with people he looked up to. Drake just wanted to fit in. He wanted to be associated with the colossal rap pioneers he's been looking up to, and now that he's in the industry as a rapper or a rap singer, he was working towards that. I think the smartest thing Drake could have ever done was never divert away from what was working for him. Cause people always make fun of what is considered different at the moment, and not a lot of people had Drake's original sound. Him being a whole lot of different from everyone else in the industry, physically and musically, could have left room for insecurity, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Within Drake's actual music, he's had many personas, like Drizzy and Champagne Papi, but I think Drake, the actual Drake persona, he has actually embodied as his actual personality, and he let the ego get the best of him, because maybe he lost touch with who he really is. This is the lost art of alter egos, the false characters of Drake. Now we know Drake was an actor on Degrassi, getting the role when he was just 14 years old. Drake wasn't a stellar actor, he definitely wasn't no DiCaprio, but Drake can act, and that acting ability allows him to blend in easily. Drake has always been able to dibble and dabble in other genres. We also have to acknowledge that he plays a character too. He personifies whatever he's around. One day he'll be black, the next day he'll look Puerto Rican. Drake is an amazing character when it comes to mixing his personality in so many places. When Drake was first starting out, he looked like a dork. Yeah, his music was fire, but people still thought he was kind of corny. He was still that dude, but there was also a level of respect that he wasn't able to achieve yet. He wanted to be accepted as a rapper. He saw the respect that the ones before him received, the integrity that was upheld for being a lyricist and a creative, but also the culture. He wanted to be accepted into the culture. Yes, Drake's father is black, but he wasn't around his dad that much growing up. He was raised by his mother, so he only saw that side of himself. He claims he was poor, but he still was able to do activities growing up and was a child model. He makes it seem like he was poor growing up for relatable purposes. Celebrities do that a lot, which I think is pretty lame. He said because of his upbringing, his mom wasn't able to afford a bar mitzvah in a better place, so he had it in the basement of an Italian restaurant. But in this intro video, he's basically flaunting how nice he had it. He lived in a nice Jewish neighborhood, went to a nice Jewish school, and I don't know if y'all peep, but most, if not all, Jewish areas are very nice.
He wasn't there, he didn't read his portion, first of all.
You didn't have a bar mitzvah.
Come on, are you serious?
You had a, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Just you don't understand how big you're about to be in the Jew world.
You don't understand how big.
Yo,
First of all, I live in an all Jewish area, so
where is that?
Forest Hill.
Okay.
I went to a predominantly Jewish school growing up. I definitely had a bar mitzvah in an Italian restaurant, mind you.
My lord.
Yeah.
A nice Italian restaurant?
A very nice Italian restaurant.
Drake may not have been rich, but he wasn't poor. He was bullied in high school, and it was one of the reasons why he dropped out. Drake saw another side of the culture that he just wanted to be a part of without finding a true identity for himself. Drake didn't really grow up black, and what I mean is like a level of consciousness. Because regardless if you were mixed, you would understand that this photo is an absolute no-no. They say it was for a photo shoot that was supposed to represent how wrong African Americans were treated in entertainment. It was an attempt to bring awareness to the issues they dealt with as black actors at auditions. But it's like, what? The purpose of blackface was meant to ridicule and embrace stereotypes. So as a biracial or a black man, why would you have this idea in order to spread the message? This was his idea per the photographer, and what exactly did it accomplish? His lack of awareness for racial undertones is ignorant on his part, especially for someone who would be considered 100% black in a white space. But that lack of awareness makes him think it's okay for him to tell Kendrick that he raps like he's trying to free slaves. But again, only a man who doesn't have the racial awareness would say something that stupid when they're already dissing you for not knowing yourself as a biracial man. Regardless, Drake's persona was built around being the lover boy, a man who wants to cherish women, he wants to be loved. That was him, the nice guy. He's upheld that persona for a while because his audience was women. But considering now he's pushing 40, you'd expect him to shift away from that and actually be in a relationship. No one finds it odd that he hasn't been in a public relationship like ever. Yes, there was Rihanna, but she barely claimed him. But Drake has went on all these years by simply being linked to women, but never actually being in a relationship. Drake likes to fuck strippers, a whole lot of them. When he was young, it wasn't seen as anything abnormal, but now that he's older, and the age of the girls he messes with begins to dwindle, it does give a side eye to Drake and how he moves in his dating life. It looks like a case of him wanting the girl he couldn't get, then he was able to get her, but he continued to enjoy the rush of having so many girls. I'm sure he could get a girl, but then again, I've never even heard of two girls beefing over Drake. I don't know if he's scarred from the industry, but even the whole closet of Hermes bags he says he saved up for his future wife, and him not having one public girlfriend is just odd. So it begs the question, what type of guy is Drake really, since he wants to be linked to so many younger girls now? It's given P. Diddy. Not in the way that you're thinking, but it just seems mentally immature. A man who's lived an amazing life where he doesn't want to grow up. Why is Diddy always linked to younger women? Because it keeps Uncle feeling young. You continue to chase after that new rush instead of acknowledging that you are getting older. And while getting old doesn't mean he can't still have fun, but with age comes a new chapter. He's still trying to relive a chapter that's like a decade long. I'm just saying, for someone to continuously rap about loving women, his PR team would at least hook him up with just one girl. But regardless of what he says, he's been doing this since his 20s.
just want to thank you.
And honestly, Drake texting Millie Bobby Brown is like, what are you doing?
We just texted each other the other day and he was like, I miss you so much. I was like, I miss you more.
Oh,
Bro, really?
yeah.
Why?
Why not?
It looks weird. It looks really weird. It's just too much evidence that shows he is a creep and he has a lot of enablers around him. Drake was born and raised in Canada. When he came down here, I'm sure he had friends, but where are his friends? Who are his friends? Because multiple rappers have said that Drake has people in his entourage who do not like him, who leak information, and who are just on payroll. Someone who we thought was a good longtime friend of his, 40, was actually the one who pillow talked, being the reason people found out about Drake's son.
The information came from 40. It didn't come from Kanye. 40 is sleeping with a woman who begins to, he talks to her daily, 5-6 hours a day, and, ultimately speaks about how he's disgruntled about certain things, notoriety and things involving Drake and his career, so on and so forth.
To this young lady.
Yes. With that also came the fact that Drake has a child. With that also came the trip that everybody took to go see the child and bring him gifts and all of this information.
Kendrick's diss showed a picture of Drake's pill bottles. Who is exposing Drake in his circle to where the people closest to him aren't really that close? And we know it has validity because even he talks about not having friends in a lot of his songs. Drake raps a lot about what he presumes the culture is. He talks a lot about things he's never been around, about things he'll never do. He grew up in Canada and came down here and built himself up to be Drizzy. He built himself up to be Drake. He used Champagne Papi to be Jamaican, Puerto Rican, Rico Suave. Drake has nobody around him that could keep him grounded, so he gravitates towards whatever fits best at the moment. When we speak about Drake's music, currently, there is no growth. He raps about the same thing, but worse. His fans have grown up with him, and we're still seeing the same chapter. Who are Drake's real friends? Who does he talk to when he feels alone? Drake's need for acceptance he was looking for when he dropped out of high school and he was getting bullied for his blackness. When he moved to America, when he was looking for acceptance for his blackness. This video trying to prove his Jewish background. When he was Champagne Papi, he dabbles in a lot of things. It's not just about bouncing genres, he's just bouncing personalities. They call him lame, they call him corny, but it's because he isn't authentic to who he is. Who is Drake? Or might I say, who is Aubrey? It ain't about him being mixed, it's about Drake not being authentic. He got lost behind his own ego and he moves funny. Drake got hits, but he also has a push. But y'all not ready to talk about that for real. He accomplished a lot, but he hides behind his money and relationships while all these people who really know him see through the bullshit. But that concludes today's video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and let me know what you think about Drake down below. Toodles!